stuck here. And it's so crazy how that happens. But I think that if there's anything that I've learned from this, the most important thing that I want you guys to take away from this is I'm sitting here and this wheelchair holds me back from taking one step forward that is very obvious. Everyone can agree. This holds me back. But there's something that holds everyone in this room back from taking a step forward. We all have a wheelchair of our own. Maybe it's in your mind, maybe it is your legs, but for you guys, you might not be able to see it. It might not be so obvious. It might not be as society would say a disability. The ADA might not have to build a ramp for you, right? But we're all still paralyzed by something. Something holds us back, and we're all disabled by something, even before I was in a wheelchair. All kinds of things. The point is that what disables you and what holds you back, it shouldn't keep you from doing the things that you want to do. It shouldn't hold you back. And that's kind of up to you to not let it do that. Find ways to make sure that what disables you won't hold you back. And that's really the most important thing I can tell you from my experience is that just whatever paralyzes you or whatever puts you in a wheelchair, maybe a theoretical wheelchair, if it's an insecurity, a fear. Maybe for some of you it's like not being able to talk to a girl, or maybe not being able to run your 40-yard dash fast enough. But that's not a good enough excuse for it to hold you back from doing something. I don't think that being in a wheelchair is a good enough excuse to hold me back from doing anything. And it's not. I mean, maybe from walking that's a pretty good excuse, but from doing anything else that I used to do, it's just not acceptable. And that's kind of the choice that I had to make after this happened to me, was that this cannot hold me back at all any longer, because then you get angry about it, and then you resent it. That's what makes people angry. Angry people are held back by something. They're held back by their anger, but what causes that? And for a while, I was so angry at the person who forgot to tie the platform down. Like, he forgot to tie this platform down, my life just got ruined, right? And it fell and rolled over top me and broke my back, and now I'm in a wheelchair. And you can imagine what that's like. But what I had to figure out is that my anger was doing more damage to me than it was to anybody else. That I was laying in bed all day long thinking about how badly I wanted this person to feel my pain. It was not making my pain any better. It wasn't making me feel any better about what had happened to me. What made me feel the best was finally realizing that guy wakes up every day knowing that I might not be able to walk again. That sounds honestly worse than this, because he knows that it's like, how could I have done that? He's all the ways that I'm going through my head, he's doing the same thing. But he's walking around and doing it. And his life might be a whole lot harder than mine. Construction worker, whatever that brings, and he's supposed to go to the job site and operate the piece of equipment that he hurt me on every day. He's probably doing it now. And he'll do it tomorrow and the next day. And is it fair for me to be angry at him? Yeah, totally. But it's not going to make my situation any better. And it certainly won't make his any better. So I guess, that anger, it paralyzed me even more. It made the rest of my body paralyzed. It's like I couldn't move anything. And I certainly couldn't move forward because of it. It was holding me back. It was keeping me in one spot. And that was the largest hurdle to get over. Getting over my anger, which I still deal with. It's still hard not to have someone, my dad, Mr. Shapiro, had to carry me up the stairs and he hauled it. I was like, man, I hate this so much that I cannot even get myself up a set of stairs in under an hour. Like, I could do it. I could slide on my butt or roll or something like that. They saw me try and go down the stairs in my wheelchair, which is pretty scary. But, it's like, that's so, talk about emasculating. That's like the worst, when you think I can stand up and I'm strong and I'm big and I'm fast and I don't feel any pain, that's kind of how I felt when I was here. I was like Superman, right? That's like how a lot of people feel when they're between the age of 15 and 25. But having to ask for help for little things, hey, can you help me put my shoes on, please? My shoe just fell off and I didn't even notice because I can't feel my depressing, but, it's like, man, things like that change so quickly, and then you're in it. I'm in it. I don't have the choice. I have to do those things. I rely on other people a lot of the time to help me, right? And that's a lesson, it's like, I wish that I would have relied on other people more before this had happened. I mean, my life would have been a lot better. I don't really have time to play that game with myself. But, asking for help is great, and helping people out is great. I've learned so much about how kind people are. Everywhere I've gone, people have been so good to me. And I like to think that it's not because I'm in a wheelchair. Sometimes I think it is, it's like people, it's like, oh, you're in a wheelchair, so I'll help you out. Would you help me out if I wasn't in a wheelchair? I don't know. Maybe you would, maybe you wouldn't. I wouldn't get to know, but it's interesting. It's interesting. So my disability, you can see it. And for some people, there are people in the world now who would do anything to be me, still. And I'm in a wheel, and like this, I don't even want to be me sometimes. Like, there are people now who, they would trade whatever they have. They would trade their legs to have a life like mine, a family like mine, and friends like mine. The opportunity to come to a great school like this and talk to all of you guys, right? There are people who would do anything for that. So I'm really pretty lucky, honestly. I feel pretty good about where I'm at. Although, I don't feel good about being in a wheelchair and doing all the things I have to do now. I feel pretty good about where my life has led me so far. And I guess I've been alive for 19 years. That's like 7,065 days, 19 years. I had one really bad one. One really bad one. That's like what it boils down to. And that's like how I feel now. Before I came in here, into this room, I was thinking of what I was going to tell you guys and what I was going to say that might help you or impact you a little bit, but I can't really, that's just one bad day in my entire life. Think about all the days that you guys have lived. I'm not saying that you take things for granted. You guys definitely don't do that. I still do it, but it's not that people don't take things for granted. They just don't realize how good something was until they don't have it. It's not like they can't really put that on themselves, but it's good to be me still. It still feels good to have a family that loves me and friends that care, and to have an audience of like 200 plus people to listen to me talk about whatever I'm talking about. That's great. And there are people, I'm a lucky guy. I'm really lucky to have been here, to have known all you guys, to have been a part of this place, and to still be a part of it. I'm seriously lucky, and I feel really good about it. I feel great. I couldn't be more happy that I've gone here. And I didn't really feel that way when I was here until like my last 2 months. The last 2 months that you spend here will be the most important ones ever. The most memorable ones. All the memories that you make that are like real and really important, like the last 2 months of your time. And that's what I think about when I'm sitting up here. Is that freshman year was okay, and my sophomore year, I don't really have any vivid memories of those times that are notable. But the last 2 months, that was when it happened for me. That was when I realized, man, I'm so excited to get out of here and start my life, and I made all these great friends. And I was so focused on moving on, move. Interesting. You put emphasis on the word move. There's no really moving on. I can't move on from this. This is like a carry-on thing, right? You're not going to move on from your time at the school. You're going to carry on. You're going to carry all the things that you learned, all the experiences you had, all the friends you made. You'll carry it on. You won't move from it. You're not moving necessarily anywhere. Maybe your body is, but your mind will always take you back there. I'm now back at the place where my legs probably did their best work. It's almost like commemorating them. This is for my legs. If they had a mind of their own and they could talk, this is for them. Like they did awesome stuff here. Or they did pretty cool stuff here, I guess. They walked around and did leg stuff. It's funny when you feel your own legs, you don't really think about that. Man, my legs are. You just tell them to move, and they move, and that's what they do. But that's what this is for. If anything, I'm sure some of you guys, especially you who don't know me too well, are probably wondering what I could possibly tell you that you don't know, because I just left here 6 months ago. I don't really know what I can tell you that you don't know. I can share with you an experience that I've been through that has seriously changed my life and my family's life. And I'll never be be happy that it happened. I'll never be happy this happened to me. But I'll be happy that I got through it. And if you are never, if you go through something, you can go through terrible things. And you can be upset about them happening. I'm upset that it happened. But you should never look back and be disappointed at the way that you went through something.